What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're talking about the M60, one of the slowest firing automatic weapons in Battlefield 6, and honestly one of the most misunderstood. With a rate of fire of just 514, this LMG definitely isn't about spraying and praying. It's a 3 body shot kill up close, but that's not where this gun shines. This M60 is all about range, control, and power. And once you use it in the right way, it becomes an absolute monster at long range. Now, why is the M60 so good? The first thing that really stands out is the projectile velocity. This thing shoots at 900 meters per second, which is insanely fast compared to most weapons in this game. What that means is you barely have to lead your shots even at long distances. Combine that with the M60's high per bullet damage, and you got a weapon that melts players across the map when used correctly. This gun rewards accuracy and positioning over raw aggression. It's not built for close quarter combat. You'll lose to faster ARs and SMGs up close. But if you post up, hold angles, and take mid to long range fights, you can easily outgun most of the meta. This is how to play the M60. The M60 fits perfectly into a supportive and defensive playstyle, but there's also room for smart aggressive positioning depending on your build. Use it to lock down lanes, suppress enemies, and control objectives from distances. And that suppress enemies is a big one if you're trying to finish some of the LMG challenges. Because of its slow rate of fire, missing shots can be punishing, but the accuracy and high damage per bullet makes it extremely satisfying once you get the rhythm down. When you're using this gun, don't overpeak or rush into close fights. Instead, use cover, hack glitches, and pre-aim angles to your advantage. If you can get used to the slower ADS and reload times, you'll quickly see why this gun dominates at long range. Now, talking a bit about the strengths, it's got the incredible bullet velocity, it has a high damage per shot, it's got low spread and recoil, it's got an excellent long range consistency, and it's a surprisingly flexible when built right. Now, one of the weaknesses is the extremely slow rate of fire. It's got a slow reload speed, a slow ADS speed, and it's not very good at the close quarters. Now, I got 2 builds for you guys today. The first one is the stealth setup. This one is the one I use the most. This one is super stealthy, using a suppressor and attachments that can counter the slow ADS speed of the M60. With good positioning and smart flanking, it actually works really well even on smaller maps. Play around cover and take advantage of the element of surprise, and it's amazing for modes like breakthrough when you're attacking or pushing behind the enemy team, but even better when you're defending. The steady long range setup is the second one. This build focuses on steadiness and recoil control. It has way less recoil and feels incredible at longer range maps, perfect for a defensive or anchoring playstyle where you hold slide lines, beam enemies from a distance, and support your squad. Now, there's a hidden tip that I discovered while testing. If you've got a good trigger finger, try using M60 as a DMR. When you switch to semi-auto, it has zero bloom or spread at all, meaning every bullet goes exactly where you aim. Paired with a high magnification scope, and you can laser players across the map like a semi-auto sniper. So, we already talked a bit about it, but the playstyle of the M60 rewards patience and control. You want to hold angles, anchor objectives, and cover your teammates rather than sprinting into fights. It's not flashy, but once you find your rhythm, it becomes one of the most consistent and satisfying LMGs in Battlefield 6. If you want to play more aggressively, make sure to pre-aim and stay near cover. The slow ADS speed means you can't afford to get caught sprinting or rotating mid-fight. The final thoughts: the M60 is not for everyone, but for players who enjoy precision, consistency, and control, this weapon can be incredibly rewarding. It's easily one of the best long-range LMGs in Battlefield 6, and with the right build, it can even compete on smaller maps if you play smart. If you're enjoying this type of in-depth weapon breakdown and builds, consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps a lot, will keep you motivated to make more guides. Now let's get straight into the M60 build. So here it is, the M60 build. This is the build that you'll see probably in 90% of the clips in today's video. This is the one I by far use the most. It's got the suppressor, it's got a good ADS speed, but it is a little bit harder to use at longer range because of there's no grip, so the recoil control is at 47 and that doesn't change. I think the angled grip does make a slight difference in there though. Alright, so the sights that I use the 1.75 times zoom, which is the one I used the most. I also used a bit of thermal sights. Of course, the thermal goes great, but you have to sacrifice some other attachments with this. But overall, the 1.75 was my favorite. You don't really want to go with lower zooms on this, which I normally wouldn't say. But I think you want to be zoomed in a bit more. The 2.5 times scope is amazing as well. Would definitely recommend that. The 3 times scope, the Baker, it's got a couple of issues though. It's a very clear sight if you don't have those issues. It gets blurred sometimes out of nowhere. So I would recommend going somewhere between the 1.75 time magnifications. You can go up to a 4.5. The LDS 4.5 time is a very clear sight as well. They also added the variable scope, the LPVO SU230. Which is a very good size as well. However, it does cost a couple more points. But keep that in mind, it's a very good scope. Now, going on to the laser, I actually do use a green laser, but it's not super necessary. I noticed though that in close quarter gunfights, making sure that all your bullets hit will actually increase your chance a lot of winning those gunfights. As you can see in some of the clips, I do play up close every now and then, quite often actually. And sometimes you get caught off by an enemy. The green laser really increases the chance of winning those gunfights a lot. And for longer range gunfights, it doesn't really matter because they won't see that green laser. I say that with every gun build, but keep in mind they can see the green laser. So be a little bit aware of that when you're reloading or when you're taking cover. Make sure you point your laser at the wall or the ground, whatever, so the enemy team doesn't know you are there. Now, this is an important one, the suppressor. The other build doesn't have a suppressor, but what I noticed is that if the enemy player knows where you are, they can aggressively push you, and there's a high chance you will lose the gunfight. So I thought a suppressor is very necessary on this gun. So on this build, I do have a suppressor built on it, the standard suppressor. Then we're going over to the heavy extended. It improves firing accuracy over prolonged periods and increases projectile velocity. Basically making it so much better for longer range. It's important to use either one of the heavy barrels simply because it's improving fire accuracy over extended periods. Basically meaning that if you hold down the trigger, your gun becomes more accurate over prolonged periods rather than you needing to tap fire that necessarily. It takes a bit of time because of the slow rate of fire before the gun to become very accurate, but you will notice that you can keep on shooting and eventually all your bullets start hitting. Then we got the grip, we got the adjustable angle, which slightly reduces recoil, improves weapon draw speed, and enables a slightly faster transition to ADS at the cost of ADS accuracy while moving. Basically making the gun a little bit more aggressive, quite a little bit more, making it faster across all the board. Besides that, the ADS accuracy while moving gets less. You don't really want to strafe with this gun anyways. The strafing speed of this gun by itself is already extremely low. So you don't really need the extra ADS accuracy while moving anyways. But keep in mind that if you use this grip while if you start to move, your accuracy becomes a whole lot worse. Then this is a big one. This is also the one I use on my other build. It's the 50 round loose belt. With the slow rate of fire, it actually takes a bit to run out of the bullets, even when you're using the 50 round mag. So I thought the 100 round mag is actually unnecessary. I'm a big fan of using extended mags in this game, but the reload speed increases a whole lot. I think the seconds in the top or the bottom right corner are bugged. It says 7.3 seconds here, and this is 1.5 seconds, which is definitely not true, I believe at least. But the reload speed does become a whole lot faster. And trust me, with 50 bullets and a rate of fire of 514, it does take a while to run out of bullets, and it's more than enough to kill a whole bunch of enemy players. And then we use the hollow point on this one. Standard penetration ammunition with slightly improved headshot damage. You go from a 1.34 headshot multiplier to 1.5. Combine that with the high damage output of the M60 and you're going to be slaying enemies if you land 1 or 2 headshots. So that's the first build I have for you guys today. This is the main build. Definitely would recommend trying this one out. And here is the next build. This build barely has any recoil. The control is up to 52. I'm going to shoot it in the firing range real quick. As you can see, this thing is an absolute laser beam like this. There's a couple of important things you want to notice though, because there's 5 attachment points left, and where you can use those are these sides. So here I'm using the variable 1 to 4 time magnification, which I believe this one is a season pass unlock if you want to get this. But you have 5 points left. What you can do is you can also toss a thermal on it. You can use the 1.5 thermal, which works great, and the 3 times thermal. Sometimes the thermals, I find them a little bit weird to use, but they're really good in this game, especially if you struggle with visibility in this game. The thermals can be quite good. So this build can be great with a thermal. For now, I'm using the variable 1 to 4 time magnification. And I have the flash hider. You lose a suppressor, but the idea behind this build is that you use it for longer range. So if people know where you are on the minimap, they are basically too close to you already. So try and use this for longer range, and then you're not going to run into problems from people knowing exactly where your location is anyways. And with the flash hider, you make it a little bit harder for the enemy player to see you, because you don't have the big red icon above your player model. Then we have the heavy extended mag, improves firing range, firing accuracy over extended periods and increases project velocity, an obvious choice for the long range build. And this is a big difference, is the stubby. The canted stubby moderately reduces recoil and enables a slightly faster transition to aim down sight at the cost of ADS accuracy while moving. So it makes it, the ADS speed actually becomes pretty fast, same as fast as the angled. However, you have a moderately reduced recoil, making it so much more beamy than it already was. So the stubby grip makes this into an absolute laser beam. Again, you lose accuracy when you start to strafe, so make sure you are steady and don't move when you start to shoot, otherwise you're going to miss too many bullets. And these ones are the same. I used the 50 round loose belt, even though this build would probably go great with the 100 round belt as well. And we have the hollow points for increased headshot multiplier damage. There it is, those are the 2 builds. Hopefully this video was useful. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.